little life got to give. We must think positive and think more positive. Look on the brighter side. Look on the brighter side. Because I see a silver lining behind the gray cloud we're passing. Look on the bright side. Look on the bright side. For the bright side is there. The journey may be long and you keep falling down, but you must keep standing. As though we commit a crime and we keep stopping time, but we must keep fighting. Remember they say that nothing lasts forever. One day is for the slave, one day for the master. So always keep your courage up. Don't allow confidence to drop. One day we'll be right here on top. While we appreciate the little life got to give, regardless what's the hurt, we must think positive. Look on the brighter side. Look on the brighter side. Because I see a silver lining behind the gray cloud we're passing. Look on the bright side. Look on the bright side. For the bright side is where we go ahead. Love you. We want to say again a beautiful good night to all you wonderful people. If you come here to hear all Black Stallion songs, you know you can't hear that in one night. So what we're going to do, we're going to sort of take out some of the most outstanding ones and some of them that we sort of keep doing and we know that you would love. So tonight is a very special night. This one for you. So the treasury broke and they say that reset and jamming. A sort of foreign countries, yes, we start migrating. We lose faith in the country, they say we gone down the drain. They say no more, but we see happy times again. For the will to recover in my people, I have confidence. Although many may seem to feel that I'm talking nonsense, but the majority of us decide we're not going to run, because now is the time for showing patriotism. Why our country facing its darkest hour, and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, I kind of one little thing that I want we always remember. What we could make it if we just a little harder. If we just give one more try, life would be more sweet.
And a good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
That's what was the problem.
Once again, it is time for Talking Point. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'll be taking you up until the 10 o'clock hour. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Talking Points is on. Come on, I want to see those likes going up.
When can we bring it? And if the goods will require them, you managers not supply.
Dixian! Good night, my love.
Come back wrong is new ones we bring it.
Pause, me eyes drop on.
Well, if it's one thing about my people, I could guarantee that they would never ever put party before.
Mr. Perryman, I hope that I hope you're okay up there, you know. Yeah, Mr. Perryman.
And our people need us, so they more than
my good friends down in Marquis, I'm trying to remember the name, you know. The gentleman down in Marquis, they always listen to the program.
one little thing
We say a special good night to all the listeners listening via 91.9, 91.5 FM, Real FM. All the listeners listening via We Noise Radio. All of you on the YouTube and the Facebook. Yeah, I can't go through the full list tonight, you know.
They said move back and laugh until poor people was living. But how the treasury broke and the country come back to square one. Poor people remain on the same old ghetto in John. But look at we gonna be returned today on some footing. It's the same for people 10 days and more than they're taking. And without social unrest for people paying the price. Because they know for the country nothing so much to sacrifice. Why our country facing it's darkest hour and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover,
and let me just let you all know.
One little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it here.
Yes, indeed, NNPites.
Just a little harder now.
Grenadians, yeah.
If we just give one more try, life would be much sweeter.
Yes, indeed, folks. The new National Party U-Term announces Elevate, yeah? It's going to be taking place at the MacDonald College grounds this Sunday. That's up there in beautiful St. Patrick. Starting from midday. Yeah, not 1 o'clock, from midday. Going down to 8 p.m., yeah?
And loyal citizens, it's our duty to stay and assist.
So the youth of the new National Party are sending out that invite. All the young people, yeah?
We're not them, no way.
Well, nobody frighten all you and thing, yeah?
Don't want to go, could go, I can.
Show us that all you ain't coward, all you ain't afraid nobody, you understand?
I want you to have some consideration.
Respect everybody, fear no one, yeah?
Your birthday is this birthday.
So that's the new National Party Elevate. It's taking place this Sunday.
Where we may be. Why our country facing.
And that's going to be at the MacDonald College up there in St. Patrick, yeah?
It's our duty to stay and assist.
Remember, it's starting from midday. Contact your constituency leads in relation to transportation.
No, we country we can repeat. Don't want to go, could go, I have no objection. But while outside, I want you to have some.
And folks, we will be having a guest on with us tonight. Yes.
And we must do what we can, regardless where we may be. Why our country facing it's darkest hour, and our people need us.
And our zonal meeting, it will be taking place this Thursday at the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School. Yes, Dr. to Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Honorable Emlyn Pear, the Honorable Keita Peters, Miss Lorena Waldron, Mrs. Yolan Bain Hosford, all of them, they're going to be there this Thursday starting at 6:30 p.m. Yeah, that's going to be taking place up there in St. Andrew at the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School, the zonal meeting of the new National Party. I believe this one will be the final one in this round.
Help me.
And that's going to be starting from 6:30 p.m. Eh? Well, once it are less days of the NDC, you must have better days coming in because they go in. They have to go.
I don't want to hear that same song again. If I hear the same song, I might go insane.
And also, let me let you all know, the Nurses Association, you know, they do a lot of work here in Grenada. The Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique Nurses Association.
I see the whole world heading for destruction.
Their 30th annual Black and White Gala.
Doing all that for the children.
That's taking place Saturday the 14th of December, 2024. And it's taking place at the Glen Terrace, 5313 Avenue N, North, Brooklyn, New York.
You win, it's coming.
Yeah, so we'll be giving you some more information in relation to that one. Mark the date, yeah? Gotta support the nurses, they support their islands.
School. The electric people cannot agree. Right? So no lights for your child to crank for GC. Because two big men can sit down like man and try to resolve a situation. The power hungry look they carrying on and using the little children and beyond. He coming and he coming and he coming and I wait him. We dying.
Definitely not under this government, Black Stallion, no.
What your leader say, what you say? You wait and dead.
Yes, we will be having a guest joining us at 8:30.
For schools and 90 for bomb. Right. 8 million for house and 60 for gun. That is the type of budget we make.
And let me give you a little nice one here. I know a lot of you all go like this one, huh? The new National Party announces Convention 2024. The executive of the new National Party, on the recommendation of our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, has officially set the date for our party's convention. Convention will take place on Sunday, December 15, 2024. And that is a release from the new National Party, huh?
Because we all got to see a better day. So much that thing going on, that's a bit. I tell your friends, look, people, keep your hold and be to the little children. Better days.
So again, the executive of the new National Party, on recommendation of our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, has officially set the date for the party's convention. The convention will take place on Sunday, December 15th, 2024. Yeah? NNPites, get ready. Yes, indeed. And remember, we also have the gala. So you could contact 4401875, 4401876 to get some more information in relation to the gala event that's coming up on the 30th of November. So that is a black tie affair that's taking place on the 30th of November. Some of our regional friends will be here to participate with us. So that will be taking place on the 30th of November. And the massive rally on the 1st of December. Yes, we are having our massive rally. It's going to be taking place on the 1st of December. We're looking forward to seeing all of you there. Right, we're greening out the place, you understand?
From album 1977.
Yes, indeed. So, folks, the convention of the new National Party, 15th of December.
We say, if you see the work,
yeah, we're making sure that you understand. Yeah, get ready.
Hold on to shit.
I know some of you going and start looking for flights and all kind of thing right now, yeah?
Say, woman, where you going?
You know what, yeah. Some of you go and look for flights and all kind of thing, nice, yeah. Tell them, NNPI, it's not easy to deal with, you know. Have a song for them. Have a song for them, yeah. Yeah, let me see if I can find that song. Yeah. Don't interfere with us, yeah. We kind of different, yeah.
I can take a rest this day now, boy. I tell you, man.
So the 30th of November, there is that black tie affair.
I'm gonna fix you up when I reach home.
Yeah, price of the tickets are $350. You could contact the main office, yeah?
100 years and more.
On the 1st of December, we're going to be having that massive rally. You're going to get more information in relation to that, yeah? You'll get information like inflammation, yeah? It's going to be all over. The more NNPites they run down, more come.
All them superpowers trying to come Africa. Yes, they went down there with all the loss and the green.
So yes, this Sunday, the youth are going to be having their activity up there at MacDonald College, starting at midday.
And keep killing.
On the 30th of November, we're going to be having that black tie affair. And then the massive rally taking place December 1st, yeah?
To the land. Why?
You'll be getting more information in relation to transportation, all those things. You're going to be getting that over the next couple days. We're going to make sure and give you the information, eh?
Zulu, Ashanti, Watusi, Uhuru, Zulu, the whole Africans and they gone down.
So as I said, I have a guest that will be joining us at 8:30. But before I get to the guest, there's something that I must talk about. But some things that I must talk about. Yeah, no one. There's a few things I must talk about first, yeah?
Long ago, we get back no plastic and you people. And if it's one thing I sure know, whatever. Like I tell you that South Africa round the corner. One bomb they drop on Hiroshima. And they get the whole of Japan to surrender. And in 200 years, right down on the reservation. But for 400 years, they still can't subdue Africa. Why? The warriors, they go down. It's the warriors wake up. The whole Africans that they kill. It's the more they seek up. Juju, Zulu, Ashanti, Watusi, Kakandele. The more Africans that they go down. The deal with Lamumba long ago. Yes, the deal.
Yeah, so there's an issue I want to deal with quickly. I'll return to it too. And I just find it to be a serious case of disrespect. I tend to find that there is a pattern. It continues the pattern that we've seen going on at various parts of the island since the general election. There has been consistent disrespect to various people. And in this instance, it is serious disrespect to Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell by the ruling administration. And I'll show you what I'm speaking about here. Now, there is scheduled, according to a sign that is up right now, at the Happy Hill Community Center. It is scheduled. I'm not taking any calls at this point in time, my friends. Yeah? There is a scheduled reopening of the Happy Hill Community Center out there in Happy Hill, taking place tomorrow, according to the sign that is up there now at the Happy Hill Community Center. And it said, refurbished with the kind support of the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs. And it says that is going to be taking place tomorrow. It is taking place in the constituency of the opposition leader, the political leader of the New National Party, and an individual who very soon will have capped 40 years as the parliamentary representative, as the parliamentary representative of that constituency. Yeah, pretty soon in December, Dr. Mitchell will be celebrating 40 years as the parliamentary representative of that constituency. These individuals, at no point in time, spoke with Dr. Mitchell in relation, or even is the constituency representative. The people of Happy Hill, Shenda, all those different areas, Molinier, Montmoritz, Brizan, Boujeju, all of these folks voted in their numbers because he had one of the highest wins percentage-wise. They voted in their numbers for their parliamentary representative. And the same that as is taking place in the town of St. George, in St. Andrew Southeast, in St. Andrew Northeast, the same that is taking place in those locations in St. Mark, the same that is taking place there, they're doing by Dr. Mitchell, because they would not even say, well, you didn't speak to him when he was going and do it. You didn't speak to him about what you're going and do. You complete it, you go in and open it, and you don't even have the common decency to send an invite to the person who is the parliamentary representative of St. Andrew Northwest and at least say, we are opening this facility. Can you join us? Yeah? I hear some Michelle and some Keith. That's the two names I hear. Michelle and Keith. All you know who is all you are. Children don't follow that kind of language, yeah? All you know who is all you are. I hear a Michelle and a Keith who playing like them as the constituency representatives up there in St. George Northwest. Well, let me let Michelle and Keith know. Keith, not because your name Keith. Not because your name Keith, no. The people of St. George Northwest know which Keith they vote for. They know which Keith was on the ballot, and they know which Keith they have supported since 1984 to the present. They know who they support. So when all you come with all your disrespect and doing things in the constituency and doing like if there's no representative in that constituency, the time will come when the people will, that's why I play Better Days Are Coming, you know. The time will come when the people will teach all your unforgettable lesson. All you will go to meet all your maker when the time come, and all you will never forget the lesson that the people of that constituency will teach all you when the time come. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell is the Member of Parliament for the constituency. It is nothing short of disrespectful to be having such an activity, to be doing such things, and not relating anything to the parliamentary representative of St. Andrew Northwest, Northwest. You all are going into St. George Northwest and just doing thing. You all going into St. George Northwest and just doing thing. You, Miss Michelle and Mr. Keith, all you know who is all you are. Nobody voted for you all. You all never put yourself up for office. Who is you are to come in that constituency and say that all you're putting yourself and all you're going and open thing and all you're the ones in charge of what? Listen, if they had to open that with anybody, let them go and do what they was planning to do anyway and bring people from outside of the constituency. All you hear what I say? Let it do what they was planning to do in the first place and mobilize and get the people from outside of the constituency. The people of the constituency should teach them a lesson starting tomorrow. Because the sign is up, unless they change their mind and they open it at a later date. But up to this point in time, up to now, I'm on air now, and up to now, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, I am positive, has not received any invite. They didn't talk to him and say that they're doing the community center. They didn't talk to him and they didn't speak to him and say, well, you're the constituency representative. We are going to do this project. We're just letting you know out of common courtesy. But then, you have to expect big people behavior from big people. Yeah? You can't expect big people behavior from people who have not mentally matured to that part of their life yet. They haven't gotten to that level of mental maturity. They haven't gotten to that level of emotional maturity. And they definitely ain't anywhere close to that level of political maturity. Yeah? So I had to say what I had to say in relation to that one, because I find it is disrespectful. Yeah? I had to say what I had to say on that particular one. Right, folks? And no, I wouldn't be taking any calls right now. No, partners. Nah, can't take any calls there right now.
Long ago, we get back to Latin and Mexico. And if it's one thing I sure know, whatever. Like I tell you that South Africa round the corner. One bomb they drop on Hiroshima. And they get the whole of Japan to surrender. And in 200 years right down on the reservation. But for 400 years they still can't subdue Africa. Why? No worry as
So folks, remember the activities coming up, eh?
Juju. Zulu.
Tell the children they don't have to be afraid, you know. They have to come out, you know. No, we ain't coming out to that thing tomorrow. We not coming out.
The more African that they got.
Disrespectful. Who all you is? Who all you be? Well, if you like can't talk properly, who are you all? From whence did you all come? They know anything about appeal? Oh, so these people and them.
Long ago, yes, that deal with Mogo Young and the people. Yes, they keep killing leaders after leader. But you can't come on, they kill Africa.
Well, let's send an out invite. So Dr. Mitchell can get an invite. All you disrespectful. Disrespectful. Nobody should go. Nobody in George Northwest should attend. Anybody that attend, they disrespectful as those that have in the activity.
Why? The warriors they got.
Let them go and pull the people from Tong and St. George Northeast as they was planning to do. Let them go and bring them down there to say they get a bunch of people in the constituency. And all you make sure and take picture and show the face and say it's not people from St. George Northwest that was there. No, usually I just tell people go this, go. No, that one don't go. They're too disrespectful. And pray tell is the same type of treatment that Honorable Kate Skeeter, Louis Peters receiving, you know. They just feel them as MP. So they go in ahead and do thing behind the lady back. So the person who people voted for, they're not going to that person and say, well, okay, we're looking to do this or we're looking to do that or this project is here. No report, no nothing. They just go in ahead and do the thing. Same thing in St. Andrew Southeast. Same thing in town of St. George. Same thing in St. Mark. They're just going and do what they want to do in the constituency. And they feel that the MP, they don't have to tell the MP nothing. They don't have to relate nothing to the MP. Just go and do what they want to do. All they feel so. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. The more African they gone down is the more that come bad. The more you know what? Yeah, let me switch the music, man.
Never walk in this spice country. If all you can make it no more, call a date up, pack up and go. We blood pressure soaring higher. All you want us go by Lacroix. Go sing that in para.
Yes, folks. I'm just gonna try and make an early connection with my guest. Let me just make sure because I know they were on the road.
I don't sing them kind of song. And then the topic might get stale. Or they may try to put me in jail. I don't need a master's degree to know his school children hungry. The program was managed real good. They used to have a lot of food. All you say everything is free. Take away the $1 fee. Now them children barely empty.
So again,
Can buy the groceries.
the youth arm of the new National Party, they've got Elevate. That's taking place this Sunday from midday at the MacDonald College grounds up there in beautiful St. Patrick, Marley St. Patrick.
Would never sing that song. By then the topic might get stale. Or they may try to put me in jail. Send our children to Dubai for food. They won't have to cry. Diet is a critical thing. It fosters proper learning. But when children barely empty, next thing they just feel sleepy. You can treat the nation's children so. I never know NDC was bad so. Who go sing that in para? Or who go sing and shock the song?
And of course, the 30th, there's the black tie event.
Carnival taking too long to
That's
go.
gonna be taking place at the the pier, that place in What's pier? I don't want to say the wrong thing, you know.
All you get a pregnant treasury. Now it's empty, but there's no baby. So all you could mash up money. No growth in the economy. They say the money paid pension, expecting economic reflection. But there was nothing like that. People bank account just get fat. Who go sing that in para? Or who go sing and shock the song? I go in and call my partner Lakey. I hope he did. Carnival taking too long to come. Someone can write them kind of song. By then the topic might get stale. Or they may try to put me in jail. You left Grenada for Rwanda. Somehow end up in Nigeria. Ease up on the lies, my brother. Look at how
Yeah, Pier 57. That's it. Thank you so very much, my dear.
Nigeria. You pay Nigeria to Grenada. The country is at your service. Don't get tied up in bogus business. Who go sing that in pa-
Cathy Albert, you go miss that one, girl.
the song? I go in and call my partner Lakey. I hope he did. Carnival taking too long to come. Teacher Eddie don't sing them kind of song. By then the topic might get stale. Or they may try to put
Yes, indeed, folks. Yes, right. Nice, nice. I'm making sure I get our guest in.
Best prime minister since sliced bread, but everybody balling, things so dread. The supporters don't want to get exposed, so they still balling with them out close. Who go sing that in para? Who go sing a shock the song? I go and call my partner Leke.
All right, folks. Let me just test my audio with our guest for tonight. Let me just test my. Hello, good night. Are you hearing me? Hello, good night.
Hi, good night. I am hearing you.
You're coming across clear there, Doc. Are you ready to come across? I'm bringing you on in. You ready? I'm saying it on air. You ready? Nice. I'm bringing you on. So, Doc, you're on. And we say a very special good night to you, Senator, the Honorable Dr. Mayana Charles. How are you doing?
I am doing fine, and thank you, Sheldon. And a special good night to the viewers, to everyone tuned in, and to you, Sheldon. And thank you for having me.
Yes.
It is a pleasure to be here with you tonight.
Yes, indeed. And it is a pleasure having you on with us tonight on the program. And how has your day been going thus far? We know a lot of people, landslide here, flood here, all sorts of things. How has your day been going thus far?
Well, what can I say? It has been a very busy day for me. From the time I started, I haven't stopped really.
Oh,
yeah, so it has been quite a busy one.
Oh boy. And we want to get a lot of people, they've heard of Dr. Mayana. They may have seen you before, especially during the COVID period. They saw you, everybody was, but why didn't bring this girl? Let she talk all the time? Why didn't find Doc unless she talk all the Tell us a little bit about yourself. For those who may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from? What's your real area?
Okay. So where shall I start? A little bit about me. I am from the beautiful community of Bonnet St. Mark's.
St. Mark's people.
City. St. Mark's people, the best people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
But just to tell you a little bit more about me, I would say professionally, I am a medical doctor currently working in academia. And I have worked in clinical medicine, I've worked in public health emergency response. So I've worked in quite a few areas in terms of healthcare. Academically, I have earned a Doctor's of Medicine degree. I later went on to pursue a Master's in Public Health, as well as a postgraduate certificate in medical education and a certificate of teaching and learning from the NGH Institute in Boston. And I look forward to continuing my academic pursuits with a PhD. And I will repeat that again. I come from the beautiful community of Bonnet St. Mark's, where I spent my childhood and pretty much received my foundation. And in terms of my values, I would say I am guided throughout my life, both personally and professionally, by compassion, professionalism, and faith in God. I really hope this answers your question.
You start to answer it. For those who may not know, your primary school education, your secondary school education, primary school, which primary school?
I went to Bonnet Government School.
Hey, well, all past students, raise your hand.
And then I went on to St. Mark's Secondary School.
Okay, so
I was educated right there in St. Mark.
So you're a full, a full Victorian? That's what I say.
Correct.
And if it's at a medical school up there, I go to medical school up in Victoria as well.
Correct.
So let me ask this particular one. Why the field of medicine? What drove you to that particular field? Why did you choose to become a doctor? A lot of times we hear children and they say, well, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a police, I want to be a lawyer. But by the time they get into their teenage years, you realize they've gone on to something else and they've dropped that totally. Were you always the little child that wanted to be a doctor during career day and so on? Were you always the child that wanted to be that? And put yourself in a position to get there? How did this Dr. Mayana develop?
Yes, so I would say, from a very tender age, I've always loved sciences. So sciences has always been my passion. But I'll tell you where, that path for medicine started. Now, my great-grandmother, who loved me dearly and who's somebody I love very dearly, may her soul rest in peace. When I was very young, she had a hip fracture. And I watched her live in pain. And even as a child, I wanted to help her. I wanted to end her pain. And that experience from a very tender age really planted a seed in me. A determination pretty much to bring comfort, to just bring healing to others, to end the pain and suffering of others. So this is really what planted that seed in me to pursue a career in medicine.
Okay, so you said you had a love for the sciences. So you're one of the physics and the chemistry and the biology students and so.
I'll tell you something interesting. I loved chemistry. Of all the sciences, chemistry was my favorite because it just made sense and it was very analytical. Mm-hmm. Biology, that was probably my least favorite science, which is contradictory.
But you're a doctor.
Because it involved, at that time for me, the biology involved a lot of reading and words and chemistry and maths with numbers and equations. It really applied to me because I have a very analytical brain. Mm-hmm. So I really love those sciences. But I grew very fond of biology as time went on.
Well, biology was the one I didn't like. Chemistry, physics, yeah. Put me in physics any day, put me in chemistry any day. Biology was never the one I was in either. I didn't like biology. I never did biology, in fact. Advanced physics, chemistry, yes. Biology, no. That was my area. And similarly, for similar reasons too. I like the labs. I like to go in the lab and do the different experiments and so on. Whether in physics you're doing refraction or whether you're trying to find the volume of a gas in chemistry, that's my thing. Yeah?
Very practical.
Yeah. It's always that practical. So you did your education. You did your medical degree where? At which university?
At St. George's University.
At St. George's University. All right, and your master's in public health. You also did that
at SGU? Yes, I also did it there.
Okay. Did you choose St. George's University for a specific reason, or was it that it was just the most practical place at that point in time, rather than going to UE or so on as some others have done, or even going to Cuba?
For me, St. George's University was always my first choice, to be quite honest. I'm right here. I'm in Grenada. It is a U.S. medical school. It is accredited. It has an excellent record. So for me, it was a no-brainer to go to St. George's University. And it was really a privilege because it is an excellent university.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You've been involved in different activities outside of your education and so on. Which other activities have you been involved in? You've been involved in youth groups, culture groups. I don't know if next thing I know you just sing and play a musical instrument. We don't know, so we have to find out tonight. Next thing I go to the gala and I see you on stage with your violin or something. What have you been involved in at different levels?
Well, I'll tell you now. I only sing at home, so. I'll start there.
All right. So no culture. All right.
All right.
Yes.
But I would say, currently, I volunteer at clinics in the General Hospital and the Princess Alice Hospital for adults with sickle cell disease, so that we can better care for them and reduce the adverse health outcomes for patients with sickle cell disease. And this pretty much is a drop in the ocean of the care that is really needed in our country. So that is something that I am currently involved in, and that is something I love dearly because, I love clinical medicine. So that opportunity to care for patients and really contribute in that way, it is something that I hold very dearly to me.
But why, I might ask the question, why specifically in relation to sickle cell? Is it an area you specialize in? Is there a specific reason that you have chosen sickle cell? Because I know of many sicklers and so on, and man, it's not easy when they have their episodes. I've seen some of them when they have their episodes, and I empathize with what they go through. Is there a specific reason, though, that you've chosen to work in these clinics in that particular area?
Well, sickle cell disease, it falls under the umbrella of what we call non-communicable disease, right? Chronic disease. And in terms of the sickle cell disease, there was a need. Simply, there was a need. And it was answering that call to that need. Because currently in the past, we had a pediatric clinic. But for the adults with sickle cell disease, there was no transition period for them, right? From the pediatric clinic, there was not an adult clinic specifically for that. So there was a need, and a very good mentor of mine helped identify that need and decided that, this is something we really need to do for our patients with sickle cell disease in Grenada. And I'm not sure if you're aware, or persons listening, in fact, one of the first cases of sickle cell disease was actually identified in a Grenadian. So, we do have quite a lot of persons battling with this chronic disease in Grenada, that is sickle cell disease. So it is definitely a need here. And that is one of the reasons, because of the need, I am involved.
Okay. So I did hear that. I think they said something about a person being buried in St. Patrick or something like that. The first official sickle cell patient that ever came around. You specialize in any specific area, or you're a general practitioner? You specialize in any particular field in medicine?
A general practitioner.
General practitioner. But you've taken the opportunity to be able to lend your services specifically in the area of sickle cell anemia.
Correct.
Okay.
And I've worked for quite a long period in internal medicine. So I do have extensive experience and a long history in internal medicine, where I have dealt with pretty much all the non-communicable diseases, from diabetes to high blood pressure to heart disease, sickle cell disease, you name it.
And to imagine now, because I know I've heard stories before where doctors, they don't want to go up to Princess Alice. They don't want to lend their time. You're doing the exact opposite, where there are some doctors that try their very best of trying to get out of going to the main hospital facilities so they could spend their time in their private practice. You're doing the reverse. You're trying to spend time in the hospital facilities like the Princess Alice and the General Hospital. So for Talking Points, we'd like to congratulate you on that initiative, on what you're doing there. You also involved with the St. George University?
Yes, I am at the St. George's University. So that is where I am currently in academic medicine, pretty much, at St. George's University.
So you're teaching there now?
Yes.
Oh, so you're helping us create the next generation of doctors.
Of healthcare professionals, yes.
Yes, but the thing with that is that you're still in the same generation that you're teaching. You're pretty young. So I can't even say you're teaching the next generation. You're still teaching your generation of doctors. And that's amazing, because usually we have the idea that the doctors who are down at the SGU, who are teaching in medicine and so on, we often get the idea of this person somewhere in their 50s, 60s going there, balding and so on, might be a look upon, even though they are a doctor. We tend to have the idea of that sort of image in our mind of the doctors being down there, and not someone as yourself. So it's great to see a young Grenadian actually down there as a lecturer, and I think that would be something that is a positive for a lot of other young Grenadians who are seeing you now as an example. She's done it, I can do it as well. Yeah, so we want to congratulate you on that as well. Now, moving along, you are now Senator Dr. the Honorable Mayana Charles. Even though it is just so call me Mayana. But I have respect, my mother and them growing with respect. So Senator the Honorable Dr. Mayana Charles. Why the New National Party?
I am glad you asked this question because this is a question that I've been getting asked a lot. And the simple answer is this, Sheldon. I fundamentally want to serve the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit. This is the way I am. This is in my DNA. Service the people, service the country. And the NMP has afforded me that opportunity.
Yes, indeed. But you had the opportunity. You could have joined another party. I know they're looking for people, that gladly grab you. But you've decided, is there something that you saw in the new National Party that said, look, I look at the other side, I look at the NNP, this is the party for me? Is there something that you saw in the NNP that drew you to the new National Party?
Yes, and I would say this, the NMP is not just a political party. It is a movement grounded in love, in compassion, in unity, and in true service for Grenadians. And that identifies with my core values. So definitely, that is something I saw in the new National Party.
Indeed. And you've said that you'd like to assist your country, and I know that when we had the COVID crisis, that you were one of the reassuring faces. I think a lot of people tend to forget what we went through during COVID. A lot of people tend to forget what we went through during COVID. And you were one of the reassuring faces that were there during that period of time. What is your vision as a medical professional, as a person involved in the healthcare sector, who has been involved in the healthcare sector, who is trained in healthcare? What is your vision for healthcare in Grenada?
So I would start by saying this, in my capacity as a medical doctor with a background in public health, with a background in academia, the view I hold for healthcare in Grenada, for my people, for our people, is one that is comprehensive and one that is sustainable. I want to see an end to our people suffering from chronic conditions. I want to see primary healthcare enhanced in Grenada. I want to see preventative medicine in practice, in action. I want to see diagnostic capabilities boosted. I want to see a Grenada where healthcare is a right and not a privilege. So, this is the short answer.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that as many people as possible have access to quality healthcare. A Grenada where no one has to go through what your grandmother went through at that point in time when she had that broken hip. Because we know in the US and those places, you have a broken hip as an elderly, you have hip replacement surgery and so on. You have all of those things available. But in the Caribbean region, not just in Grenada, that is near difficult to impossible to be able to get those type of treatments in the region. And it would be great for Grenada to be able to offer those sort of services in the future. But you also mentioned, you spoke a while ago about the sickle cell disease. But there are various other diseases that are very, very prevalent in Grenada. And in Grenada, diabetes, hypertension, or some people say pressure. Yeah. And these days, especially with all that's going on, I know some people pressure real high. Some people hypertension gain them problems. Imagine you have your place and it's been flooded out 2-3 times. You've lost your vehicle. You have problems getting to work and so on. All of these problems that people are having. What are your views on some of what we are seeing health-wise in Grenada, as in the diabetes, the hypertension, those sort of things, even to an extent some of the cancer rates, because we've been seeing cancer, and especially among young people here in Grenada. What are your views on what is happening there?
So in terms of non-communicable diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart diseases, and you mentioned cancer, which falls under that umbrella, are some of the biggest challenges facing us today. And it continues to escalate, right? We see that these things continue to escalate. And I will just pull some statistics here, just to pull out one of those diseases. So in terms of the incidence of diabetes, globally, 1 in 10 persons, 1 in 11 persons have diabetes. In Grenada, we have surpassed that average. So 1 in 7 persons have diabetes. And this is just only one of the non-communicable diseases, right? High blood pressure has a similar problem. And we know these two things are risk factors for strokes and heart disease, kidney disease even. So, and these diseases are often caused by, lifestyle factors can contribute, like poor diet, lack of exercise, among other factors, right? But one of the important points I want to drive here that it is worsened by limited access to early diagnosis and care, right? And it is even worsened by a weak primary healthcare system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So these diseases are escalating because of pretty much because of our system. So we really need to strengthen our primary healthcare system, and public health campaigns are key. Timely and early screening are key, and encouraging healthier lifestyles. Right, these things can save lives and reduce the burden on our healthcare system.
Now you're speaking about early diagnosis, and I recognize that is a significant problem when it comes specifically in relation to diabetes and high blood pressure. Because with late diagnosis with high blood pressure, by the time they check on you, your vessels already damaged, your heart already in problems, you're in general problems already. Diabetes, only a few minutes ago, speaking to an individual, and their situation was they have a relative who has diabetes, injured their leg, and didn't want to tell anybody, didn't check on it, and so on. Mm-hmm. And that is a man. It's not a lady that do that. It's a man that do that. Because you always see them at the general hospital, and then you hear that we have to take off your foot, or we have to take off from the knee, we have to take off this and so on, and the day and they're saying, no, I don't want you to cut off this or that, because it has gotten too late. So indeed, the early diagnosis, what would be your suggestions to the population out there in relation to early diagnosis for these things, like diabetes and hypertension? What would be your suggestions in relation to these areas?
Yeah, that is a very good question. And, I'm speaking to the Grenadian people when I'm speaking here, and I'll just, want to say something before I go into my suggestion. So type 2 diabetes, all right? Most persons don't even know that they have it. And by the time they find out, it has already been doing damage in the background for the last 7 to 10 years. So by the time you find out, you already have complications. You start having eye problems, the same thing you spoke about, right? Problems with the foot, needing amputation, those sort of things. Kidney disease, might be needing dialysis. So I really want to encourage persons, the general public, to do your annual checks, to really do your annual checks. And part of the annual check that is done, really takes into account those sort of chronic common diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, so that you know your status, right? Mm-hmm. This is what early screening does. It calls for early identification and early treatment.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because one of the things, I've got relatives who I've seen lost leg and so on. I've known of people who they know they have diabetes and they want to wear the tight shoes. And again, it's only men are talking about here. They know they want to wear the tight shoes and so on, end up losing a foot, and afterwards end up losing their life, and so on. Your suggestions to people are their yearly tests. And so, I just did mine because I know I have a family history of diabetes. I know I also have a family history of cancer. I'm not afraid to say that. Family history of cancer and so on. So I had my prostate check just recently. I did the blood one. I ain't do the next one. I did it. Fellas, you could do it with the blood too. The other one is important to get done, but I'll get around to that one. I did the blood test. Today is International Men's Day. What would you say to the men of Grenada? Because believe me, we ain't like doctor. When it comes to that prostate exam, doc, I ain't care if it's you doing it. I really, you see that the process is, if Caribbean men generally, we're not going through that easily. And men is until we collapse or something, and they bring us inside to go and check, they realize something is wrong with us. On International Men's Day, your message to the men of Grenada and those outside of Grenada who are listening as well, in relation to doing their checks and so on, and to eliminate that fear. All the doctor says she going to do the exam. You could check Dr. Charles. She will do the exam for you. Your suggestion to the men on International Men's Day.
My suggestion to the men, I would say, to the men, we need you. We need you in our communities. We need you in our society. We need you in our children's lives. We need you to guide them. So we really need you around, right? And part of you staying around is really ensuring that you do get your annual health checks. And I know the prostate exam is a big fear of men, but I would say to you it's a very simple clinical examination, very simple clinical examination. It only lasts a few seconds, all right? And it's a very important exam. And Sheldon told us he did the one for the blood. I want to encourage you to do both, right? The clinical examination as well as the blood test, because we need you around. And one of the common diseases that affect our man is use of the prostate, be it from an enlarged prostate or prostate cancer. And again, I will stress the same thing like with diabetes. Screening and early identification, it can save lives and it can institute early treatment. So you don't have to deal with the complications of those diseases. It is better to know and address what is happening than not to know. And by the time you find out, it is too late.
Mm-hmm. Now, for many men, even though they check, and there's this sort of denial, so they do an exam, they tell them, listen, you either you have pre-onset diabetes or you've got full diabetes. They still want to go and lie in the bar and drink a set of alcohol and so on. They still want to eat whatever it is that pass in front of them and that sort of thing. There's just generally, in some instances, it's a lack of discipline, but in others, I tend to think it's, they know what they're saying, man. I don't have no diabetes, because maybe they're going through a period when the different effects of diabetes are not that prominent on them. So they may know what they're saying, man. I normal right now. I don't have that, and so on. So I think it's very important for us, specifically for our men. Yes, ladies as well. They need to do their breast exams. They need to do their other gynecology. You see my tongue just tie up on this. But the different gynae exams.
Yes,
right, let's put it that
yes.
way. Yeah, the tongue just tie up when you're ready. So they need to do their exams as well. Yeah? So what would you suggest to the ladies now? You've suggested to the men. Yes, we need you all, yeah? Yeah, we need you all. And yes, I will go and make sure that I get the other exam. I ain't coming on air and say when I do it, but I will get the other exam done very, very, very soon. I will get the other exam done because my father did pass away with prostate cancer. So I have to be on my P's and Q's with it.
Yes,
I have to be on my P's and Q's with it. So I will get it done. Your suggestions to the ladies now, because some of them, they're not going and do a pap smear. They're not doing a self breast exam. They're not going and check a gynae. They're not doing these things. Your suggestions to the ladies out there.
Yes, so to the ladies, the recommendation, is what we call self-breast awareness. All right, and that is basically knowing your breasts, knowing what your breasts feel like, and if there is any changes in your breast, in the breast tissue, you recognize any masses, any unusual discharge, then you report it to your healthcare physician so that the necessary steps can be taken. So really knowing and being in tune with your body and really being able to recognize any changes, especially as it relates to the breast, and reporting that to your healthcare physician so that the next steps can be taken. So this is what we call breast self-awareness. All right, so I want you to be in tune with your bodies. And, when you showering, and so, have a feel of your breasts and do it in different positions. When you're lying back with your hands above your head, with your hands pressing on your legs in different positions. So really self-breast awareness. And as it relates to cervical cancer and diseases of the cervix, we do know that cervical cancer, which is something that, once killed a lot of people, it is something that is preventable with a simple pap smear. And there is current recommendations for pap smear screening. And the recommendation as early as age 25, you should have your first pap smear. So I want to encourage all my women, to get their pap smear tests done and to follow the current guidelines for screening for pap smear. From age 25, the recommendation is that you have a pap smear every 3 to 5 years thereafter. So follow up with that current recommendations. for screening, because that is very important in preventing cervical cancer. This is not something that we should be dying from as women, to be quite honest. And again, we're going back to that preventative and strengthening primary healthcare. Early identification, early treatment really saves lives. So this is a call again to really strengthen our primary healthcare services.
So how would you suggest, outside of primary healthcare, that we strengthen the entire healthcare system in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? Because I think a lot of times we focus on Grenada. You have Princess Royal in Carriacou. You have Petit Martinique. How do we strengthen healthcare, the entire healthcare system in Grenada, inclusive of primary healthcare?
Okay, inclusive of that. Now, before I go any further, I really want to differentiate between healthcare system and healthcare services, because a lot of the time those terms are used interchangeably. Now, the healthcare system refers to the entire structure that supports health in Grenada. This includes the policies, it includes the funding, it includes national health insurance, the infrastructure. It is the bigger picture. It is that framework that ensures the delivery of care to the population, pretty much. On the other hand, the healthcare services are basically the direct actions or interventions that individuals receive when they seek care. So that will include things like visiting your doctor, right? Visiting the medical stations and the healthcare centers and getting treatment at the hospital, or even receiving your vaccines, maternity care, undergoing surgery. This is part of the services. So services are what pretty much Grenadians experience firsthand when they engage with that healthcare system. So I want you to think of it this way, right? The healthcare system is the engine, while the healthcare services are the outputs, the tangible results of how well that engine is running. And let's face it, we simply have a low efficiency engine that needs a complete overhaul. That is just the reality. And strengthening the healthcare system in Grenada requires a multifaceted approach that addresses our unique needs. We need to really do an assessment to know what conditions are the biggest burden and divert resources as necessary. And it includes multiple levels: primary healthcare, workforce development, healthcare education and prevention, just to name a few things, and efficient resource allocation. And to be quite honest, Sheldon, there is so much to say on this topic that it might require a whole episode.
No, don't worry, man. Talk. We have time.
But but in other words, it is really a multifaceted approach, and we really need to get that engine efficiently running.
No, we've had we have the issues of things, for instance, like the shortage of medicine and those kind of basic things. How do you see that impacting the quality of services being offered by the various facilities around the island? Is the solution to the entire thing just build a new hospital? Is that the solution to the entire thing? Because we have the present administration, they secure lands where they say they're going to build. Is that the solution to the healthcare issues that we're having now in Grenada?
I would say, as I said earlier, it is a multifaceted approach, right? And we have an engine that is not efficiently working, which is our healthcare system, the system pretty much. All right. And hospital is a very small portion of that. And a state-of-the-art hospital, it doesn't fix our healthcare problems. It's not a magical wand we just wave and everything goes away. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't address the medication shortages. It doesn't address the diagnostic shortages. It doesn't address the chronic diseases that inflict our population, like the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the kidney disease, the cancer, and all of those things. Yes, you utilize the hospital services, which is considered secondary services when you have complications, right, of your chronic disease. So for instance, somebody with diabetes, they might have an acute complication of diabetes, right? And they may require to be hospitalized, but we really need to fix the root cause. And this really calls for a multifaceted approach. And one of the core aspects of that approach is really strengthening primary health care. That is something that we definitely have to take into consideration.
Now, I think one of the things that the former administration had done was the construction of that polyclinic in St. John, pretty much to serve the constituency that you're from, St. Mark, St. John, the people of St. Patrick. I often use that when I'm speaking to people one-on-one. Of years ago, I was at the General Hospital, and there was an individual brought in with a serious injury. There was a fight and a serious injury where they had an object that passed from one side of the leg and was hanging out the other side. They were brought down from St. Mark on the back of a police van down to St. George to deal with that, with the whole thing hanging out and so on. When, if there was a facility like there is in St. John, they could have at least been stabilized there before being brought down to the General Hospital at that point in time. So I understand where you're coming from the primary health care and the other facilities that would be able to offer certain services before you get to the General Hospital as well. Community services. What would you say about community services, community nurses and so on, those who go out into the community? What needs to take place there? Those who go out and do the dressing and that sort of thing as part of the primary health care. What do you have to say about that particular area?
Now, in terms of your community services, it is a very important and it is a critical part of our primary health care, and this takes care of our vulnerable population, our shut-ins, our elderly, those persons that are inflicted by chronic disease. So that is something that we definitely need to continue doing, and it is an important aspect of dealing with the burden of chronic diseases, especially in our vulnerable population. You know, put it this way, you have a patient, for instance, an elderly patient who suffered a stroke and they don't have anybody at home caring for them. If they don't have that community support and that community service, they will develop complications. That is just the reality. They will develop further complications, for instance, bed sores or other things, or even get another stroke. So that is really a critical component of primary health care and of care in our communities and really taking care of our vulnerable population.
Mm-hmm. And Doc, as I'm speaking to you, I saw a mention of one particular issue there, HPV, that is throwing down a lot of women in this country. A lot of women unnecessarily are dying at very young ages, some in their 30s and their 40s dying through HPV. Give us a little bit on HPV. Educate the listening audience right now in relation to what it is, how it can be detected, what can be done for prevention and so on, before it gets to the stage that we have to be calling LACWA or Otway to come because the worst has happened.
So in terms of HPV, you know, I'm happy you asked that, and it takes us back to the call that we were making to women, right, concerning the cervix. Now, HPV is a virus, and there are different strains of that virus. There are some strains that cause genital warts, so non-painful growths in the genital area, what we call warts, and there are some strains that cause cervical cancer. All right, and this can be detected by doing a pap smear and testing for the virus. Pretty much, you can detect it that way. In terms of cervical cancer, you know, it is something that develops over time. All right, and one of the major risk factors for developing cervical cancer is what we call the high strain HPV virus. So this virus is an important player in the development of cervical cancer. So I want to appeal again and encourage our women to ensure that they're doing their pap smears as per the guidelines. And part of that process is also doing HPV testing, right? So if you're doing your regular pap smears, you will know early if there is any changes in the cervix, and that can be tackled, right? And treatment can be initiated early. What is happening, what I've seen at least, is that persons don't know their status. They are not doing their regular screening as recommended. And so by the time something is detected, it is too late. It is detected at a stage where there is already complications. So this is just the reality. So again, it is another call, you know, for women to ensure that they are doing their routine screening as per the guidelines, especially your pap smear. This is very important. If there is any changes in the cervix, that can be picked up at an early stage and it can be dealt with. Necessary treatment can be started. In addition to that, there is also a vaccine, a HPV vaccine, that can be given. So that is something that is, well, at least I know it is available in our health centers. So that is something that you can definitely get as well, that HPV vaccine. I mean, the recommendation really is for teenagers, really. That is our focus group for the vaccine. But you can get it as late as, I believe, 40 years. But don't quote me on this. So you can get it as late as then. And that, in fact, can help prevent cervical cancer because it will protect you against the high-risk strains of HPV, those strains that cause cancer. So it is, again,
there is a vaccine for it. And so teenage girls can get the vaccine, and that vaccine would help prevent them from developing cervical cancer through the different strains of HPV. So there is a means of preventing it.
Correct. And not only our girls, our boys as well.
And that was my next question. HPV in men.
Yeah. So what we do find is that men is what we call, the carriers. So the things that HPV causes, as I mentioned before, warts, right? Genital warts. There are some strains that cause warts, and there's other strains for women specifically that cause cancer. But HPV can also cause anal cancer. All right, so that is another cancer that it can cause, that virus. So, and our men are usually carriers. So to speak, our women sometimes are inflicted with the cervical cancer, but our men are carriers of that HPV virus. So it is important to not only vaccinate our girls, but also our boys as well. And that vaccine is available for both.
And at what age should males be vaccinated? In their teenage years as well, at an older age? Is it the same for males and females in relation to when they should be vaccinated for HPV?
It's the same age, and it is usually recommended starting the series of the HPV vaccine before their 15th birthday, and they do get a second dose, should be given 6 to 12 months after the fourth dose. Okay. So generally, that is the recommendation.
All right. So, folks, you're listening out there. You've got your teenagers. You want to protect them. So you're getting the information full blast to protect your teenage daughters, your nieces, your granddaughters, and so on, your stepdaughters. You're getting the information direct to help protect them tonight here from Dr. Mayana. Doc, where you have a private practice? Where's your private practice located?
I don't have a private practice.
So you're fully teaching and helping out at the hospital and saying no private practice?
Correct.
Correct.
But, going back to the HPV, just so our listeners, I want to add that, it is recommended for routine vaccination at age 11 or 12, so before their 15th birthday, and vaccination can even be started as early as age 9. And go back to what it's saying that some persons can get it, adults as late as 40. I mean, you can get it after discussion with your physician, and you can weigh the benefits of that. So persons can decide to get it even after, that recommended age.
Now, one of the things that we learned during the COVID crisis was that a lot of people are very anti-vax. They believe that they shouldn't take vaccines, and so we have many people who still have never even attempted to go around and try to take a COVID vaccine. We have many people who refuse to take any form of vaccination at all. They're just total anti-vax. What would you say to those folks right now? Not only in relation to HPV, there are some folks that they're saying they don't want. I've had a situation recently with one individual that did not want to vaccinate their child. They said they don't believe in this vaccination thing. They're not letting the child get the smallpox and the other they're not doing it. What would your words be to these people?
I would simply say, I do understand and I recognize the fear, the misinformation surrounding vaccine hesitancy. It is a reality. And I do listen to persons' concerns, but I want to say to you that vaccines save lives. lives. Simply put, it really does save life. And if we look at the story of COVID-19, we can see that, it definitely saved a lot of lives. And more so, the persons who were vaccinated, they didn't have a severe infection as the persons who were not vaccinated. And research later showed that, there is something post-COVID called long COVID. So even after, right, you would have recovered from COVID, you continue to have some chronic symptoms. We see that the incidence of that was less in persons who were vaccinated. Additionally, the vaccine is not only for you, the vaccine also protects your community, right? So it doesn't only protect the individual, but it helps protect vulnerable groups like infants and elderly. So again, you're not only doing it for you, but you're also doing it for your community and the vulnerable groups in the community.
Okay, and again, this is not speaking only about the COVID vaccine. These are things like the HPV, because this is proven to save lives. You have something that is proven. They're not guessing. They're not telling you maybe it might. You are sure that this saves lives because it eliminates the possibility of getting certain types of cervical cancer through the HPV, the different strains of HPV virus that are out there. Here in Grenada right now, they're here. They're in Grenada. There are people dying from it maybe right now. Yeah, it's here in Grenada right now. And the vaccine helps protect against that. Yeah? Dr. Charles, as we mentioned COVID, give us a little rundown of your involvement during the period of COVID-19. How did you become involved?
So during the period of COVID-19, I was working with the Ministry of Health as a senior medical officer responsible for non-communicable disease at the time. And during that time, pretty much this is a time when we were chatting, basically uncharted waters, and we really needed all hands on deck. So in my capacity as a senior medical officer, I was also a member of the COVID National Subcommittee, discussing the path forward and policies and all of those things related to COVID-19. And I would say, I know it is not a time that a lot of persons like to remember, because it was really a time of, uncharted territories, basically. So I was basically integral in that response, in every aspect of the response, talking from policies to community work, to setting up vaccine sites, to administering vaccines. Every aspect of that response I was involved in education, in just everything. And that very experience really showed me the value of, listening to the community and really seeing the community in action. And that value of community service, because I will tell you, Grenadians and the communities really helped us with COVID-19. They helped us manage the disease and reduce the spread. In some communities, if you had persons that would have traveled and is quarantined and they go outside, they will alert the ministry and they would let them know. So they really played an integral role in helping manage that disease and manage the spread of COVID-19.
Because at that time, as I said, we were on uncharted waters. We were dealing with a unknown. That the virus is there, but you were dealing with a lot of unknowns. So you had to take as much precautions as you could at that point in time. And it wasn't just Grenada, all countries on earth. It was a point in time that earth stood still. Mm-hmm. So you had to do what you had to do. And I remember there was this situation that people heard that there was a COVID patient, somebody tested positive in an area. Buses didn't want to run to that area. Nobody wanted to go into that area because you were dealing with the unknown at that point in time. How do you perceive what has been taking place since that time with the COVID-19 virus, not just in Grenada, but overall? How do you perceive what has been going on, taking place with it thus far? Do you see it developing into another dangerous strain down the line and us having to take certain measures again? what would your suggestions be to persons, especially those who are traveling? Because we know there's several different variants, I believe, since then.
Yeah, there's. Mhm.
Yeah, so what has been taking place since then, and what would be your suggestions?
In terms of the COVID-19 virus, I mean, since then it has mutated, it continued to mutate, and we still have cases of COVID-19, just as commonly as we have cases of the common flu. So again, I really want to encourage the general public to take heed of the prevention methods, that keeps you safe. If you know that you're sick or you're ill or anything like that, or you have a cough, practicing proper preventative measures so you don't affect, other persons at your workplace or in the community. Something as simple as covering your mouth or wearing a mask, exercising, hand washing, sanitizing your hands. All the same preventative measures, applies to limiting the spread of any communicable disease, right? COVID being one of that, or even something as a common cold, because I would say to you, COVID may affect me differently from how it may affect somebody else. I may recover and I may be able to deal with it pretty fine, but somebody else may not have that same fate. So we really have to be, cautious and be our brother's keeper when you're talking about communicable diseases, and to exercise all those public health preventative measures.
Well, folks, we're speaking with Dr. Mayana Charles, Senator, the Honorable Dr. Mayana Charles. She don't like me to use the whole thing, but yes, Senator, the Honorable Dr. Mayana Charles. We're speaking with her tonight here on Talking Points. You're getting to know a bit about the individual themselves, and we also been speaking a bit about healthcare. Yes, so we've been getting to know a bit about the individual. Former past student of the Bonaire Government School, St. Mark Secondary School, St. George University. So she do all she schooling here. She ain't leave and go any. She do all she schooling right here in Grenada, and is giving back to Grenada at this point in time. Now, the visits that you do at Princess Alice and at the General Hospital in relation to sickle cell, I'm just going back there for a little bit. What do they entail? You're doing clinics and so on. What are you doing with the people there? Because you said there was no transition period from, they were doing classes and so they were doing sessions with the young ones, but when people got older, they just basically were leaving them out. What are you doing with the elders right now? Is it that what exactly are you doing with them?
But in terms of the adult sickle cell clinic, it is an outpatient clinic. So there, myself and other physicians, headed again by a great mentor of mine, we do see adults suffering with sickle cell diseases. And we basically do a consultation, and then we'll do a history. We will look at any acute issues that is affecting them, any chronic issues. We do physical examination. We send them to do the necessary blood tests. And that is all in an effort to reduce, acute complications of sickle cell disease, and also to ensure that they are getting adequate health maintenance as it relates to sickle cell disease, and to ensure that we improve the quality of life of our sicklers. So that is pretty much the goal of the clinic. And what we do there is a clinic. So we see patients. We see patients there, and we do everything.
Do you think that there are a significant number of undiagnosed sickle cell patients in Grenada?
In terms of undiagnosed, I don't believe there's a significant amount of undiagnosed persons. There may be, but I don't believe that number is significant. The reason being because, as a baby, right, and as an infant, one of the tests that is done is a sickle cell screen, because we know the high incidence of sickle cell disease, right? And this is something, if you have it, you pick it up at birth, right? Because it is a genetic something, and we will do a special blood test, and it would let us know if you carry the trait, so if you're just a carrier, or if you have full-blown sickle cell disease. And because of that, I think, in terms of that intervention and that diagnostic test that is done pretty early on, it tends to catch, persons with sickle cell disease and allow for us to follow persons with sickle cell disease.
Indeed. And Doc, I know we're quickly running out of time. We have roughly about 6 minutes remaining. I did say just about an hour I would have you on with me. I did make provision for just in case, but I'd have you on for just a little more with us. You'll be going to, you are in the Senate, and we expect to hear you speaking a lot on health. Any other issues we could look out for Dr. Charles speaking forcefully on in the Senate that she has decided, yes, this is an area, this is an issue that I really want to speak forcefully on?
You know what? We will wait and see. You know, I am ready. As I said before, I am here and I am ready to serve, and I'm ready to serve the people of Grenada, you know, Carriacou and PT Martinique. And that is my passion. And yes, I will speak on healthcare matters, but there are other issues that I may address from time to time. You know, because I say when you look at, you know, everything, there is an interplay with everything, right? We talk a lot about preventative care today. We talk a lot about lifestyle changes, you know, diet and exercise. You know, agriculture somehow factors into that. You know, so there is the environment factors into our health. There are so many things that contribute to our health, right? It is so definitely, you know, so you will hear me.
Sports again, very important aspect in keeping healthy. And so speaking for a man who's very always sitting, typing, reading, all these things most of the day. So just saying it, but I know sports plays a very important role. Diet again plays a very important role. So again, yes, the agriculture and fisheries and so on, all of these things play an important role. And we look forward to hearing you in the Senate. And I know right now, looking at the chat and I'm seeing a lot of St. Mark's people. They grinning, they blushing, they all kind of thing. St. Mark's people out and out tonight. Believe me, they are out and out tonight, and they are very, 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 very proud of you and to see you here tonight, Doc. And indeed, any final message you want to give to the Grenadian people tonight? And remember, I'm also giving you the opportunity to send your personal greetings to the men of Grenada and further afield, because Canada is on, the United States is on, the UK is on, we even have people in Nigeria on. So any message to the men on International Men's Day, and any final messages you want to give to all of the listeners and viewers on tonight?
Yes, thank you, Sheldon. And I want to say a special good night and hello to my people from St. Mark's who are tuned in. Now, in terms of my final messages, you know, I want to give tonight, you know, I just want to say that as it relates to healthcare and the challenges that we face, that we must work together, right? It takes a collective effort to ensure that every Grenadian, you know, has access to quality healthcare that they deserve. And we must, as a country, ensure that healthcare is a right and it is not a privilege. And we all have a part to play in ensuring that that is so. So let us focus, you know, going forward on solutions for healthcare that are practical, that are sustainable. And we want to ensure that whatever we lay here today, it is not only for us, but it is for our children, our grandchildren. It is really for the future. So our plan has to be one that is sustainable. And primary healthcare has to be part of that, strengthening primary healthcare. It has to be part of that plan going forward to ensure that sustainability. To all the men that are listening on International Men's Day, a special good night to you. I want to say that, you know, we need you. We need you in our households. You know, we need you in our lives. You play a critical role. And I want to encourage you to ensure, just as the women in the household, to ensure that you're doing your annual medical checks. Ensure that you're doing your annual medical checks. Stay up to date with your screening. Stay up to date with your annual checks. Don't be scared of that prostate exam, right? It is better to know than not to know. I always say that. It is better to know than not to know. It is better to detect something early and be able to address it. So don't wait when it is too late. Don't wait when that pain becomes unbearable. If you're having any issues at all, you know, I want to encourage you to seek the medical care. Go to your primary care primary care physician or your family doctor and ensure that you're staying healthy. Because, we need you around. The kids need you around. The community need you.
Yes, indeed. Doc, we'd like to thank you so very much for taking time out of what I know for a fact is a busy schedule to be on with us tonight on Talking Points. And we look forward to having you on very, very, very soon again on Talking Points with us. So we'd like to thank you so very much on behalf of the Talking Points family. Do have a wonderful remainder of your night tonight.
Thank you so much, Sheldon. And you do have a lovely night yourself.
All right, Doc. Thank you so very much. Folks, we've been speaking there with Dr. Mayana Charles, Senator, the Honorable Dr. Mayana Charles. And we were having a conversation there in relation to healthcare. You got to know her a bit. And I know there's a lot of valuable information that you got there. You know that making me understand now that we have to have, I don't know how we go do it. If it go be every other week or so, we go have to have a program that is specifically geared towards healthcare. Yeah, where we could have Dr. Charles, Dr. Modest. We have various doctors. Yeah, man. Talking Points have access to a lot of doctors. We got to have the doctors on maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. We don't want to do it every week. No. Yeah, but once a month or once every 2 weeks or whatever. And we could discuss various issues because certain things, for instance, that was just said in relation to HPV, I had no idea about. No. I heard about HPV. I heard that there was a vaccine. But as to the specifics, got a lot of information there tonight that I had absolutely no idea about. Folks, I recognize that quite a few of you were trying to call. How the system is configured, I can't take the call when the guest is on. But I know some of you may want to call at this point in time. So I'm going to open all the phone lines and give you all the opportunity to call in. So you all can call from now 440-7377, 347-329-3101. We're going to give you all the opportunity that you all can call in right now.
A lot of people ain't getting salary. Maybe all you have problems with money. Running the country like a selfish shop. But all you have to stop that.
And again, one of the takeaways that I got there from Senator Charles is that building a new hospital isn't going to solve the problem. Not building a hospital. You have to focus on the services and the system. And she was very specific in pointing out the difference in the services that are being offered. You go to do surgery, you're going to get medication or so, you're going to do basic tests and other tests and so on. Those are the services that's offered. But you have to also fix the system itself. And it's not the services and the system are not interchangeable. The services are part of the system. And right now, the system needs to be fixed. So if you're just going to build a new hospital and say, well, we build a new hospital. So you have a structure. You have a hospital. But you're not doing the primary health care. You're not going out there and having the tests done. So that a person who believes, hey, I'm seeing some of the symptoms that I may be diabetic, they don't have the opportunity to go to a health center or a health facility and have a test done to find out, yes, your blood sugar is elevated, yes, you're diabetic, or you're pre-diabetic, or you need to watch it and so on. They don't have that opportunity to be able to do that. Or the nurses that go out into the communities and do what needs to be done out there in the communities. And we say a special good night to all the nurses who are going out there, visiting the shut-ins and so on, go in and make sure that their dressing is done and so. And again, simple things like ensuring that and let's take this call and we'll get back to that. Hello, good night.
Hello.
Yeah, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead. Caller, you're live.
Oh, yes,
just load the volume in the background. You're good to go. Go right ahead.
Good. Well, I want to say how overwhelmed I am listening to this young lady. I think the future of healthcare is looking bright. I think that young lady is intelligent, she's bright, she's confident, she has a heart. As the father of children with sickle cell, I am encouraged by the things that I hear. She talked about a clinic. talk about volunteer. Words can't say how I feel tonight hearing from this young lady. And I must say that the new National Party has scored a goal. This young lady is a future leader. She has all the qualities to be a good leader of Grenada. I think the time is now that she belongs in the front line. And they must clear out an area for her. And if you're talking about transformation, you're talking about a lady who is genuine, who speaks with passion, caring. I think we heard that tonight. This is what you call youth in action. And I must take my hat off to this lady. And she has my support and my admiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, caller. And the caller is a father of children that have sickle cell. So he understands the challenges that sicklers go. Believe me, it's not easy. I've seen what happened with sicklers. I know when they have an episode, what they go through. I've had people close to me that I know have gone to the great beyond that due to sickle cell. So I know what they go through. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Good evening, Sheldon, and good evening to all your listeners and viewers.
Oh, I know I was getting that call, so.
I had to call. I just had to call. I am super, super, super proud of Dr. Charles. You know, she is one of our quote-unquote Victoria children. And, you know, the old people used to say, depending on how the children performed, you will hear them say, oh boy, that person raised my nose. Mm-hmm. Well, I could tell you she raised plenty nose here in St. Paul. You know? And it's not just because of her academic achievement, but it's her passion, her humility, and just the way she just carries herself. You can't see a mean bone in that young doctor. And when a doctor cares so passionately about people, it just says it all. And I want to say that these are the quality and the caliber of individuals that the NNP can attract. I was very happy when you asked her about her choice in aligning herself with a political institution. And remember, what she said, one of the things that moved me is when she said that she did not see the New National Party as a political organization. She saw the party as a family of caring people. Sheldon, and that is what the New National Party is all about. Family, caring, love. So it's no wonder that we can attract people like Dr. Mayana Charles. And I just want to say that I wish her all the best. We are going to support her the best we know. And I can tell you she's one of our gems right now. And, you know, we have a lot of gems, but she's the latest one that has come in. And all I can say, Sheldon, is that I am so, 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 so proud. So very proud.
Yeah, no, St. Mark's people grinning tonight.
Oh, yes. And I'm not sure if my parliamentary rep is going to call, but if she doesn't call, I just want to say my comments. I know she will echo my sentiments on this platform here this evening. So again, thank you for having her on, and I want to thank her for all the information given, because it is very timely, and it was put in a way that even the smallest child could understand. So again, this was a super show, and I thank you for hosting it. Thank you, Dr. Charles. Good night, everybody.
Doc, hello.
Yes, yes.
I hope you're organizing it. The youth on Sunday.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely.
I'm looking for a black tie for the gala on the 30th.
Hey.
The rally on the 1st.
But your girl gonna bring no one for you, Cathy.
Cathy cussing. Cathy says she might not be able to. What? Cathy vexed with me. But outside of that, the 15th of December.
Yes, the 15th of December is a high day.
All was asking for it, looky day.
Yes. It's a high, and it's going to be a high day. And I'm going to tell you one more thing. Look out. We're going to blast this all about. We have some super special guests for the rally on the 1st.
Yeah.
Super special.
I hear it might be a yard man.
Yeah, man.
And a patois speaker. I will go no further than saying that.
Yes. And it promises to be just fantastic. It's just a fantastic period for the new National Party.
Indeed it
Very
is.
fantastic. Yeah.
All right, my dear.
We are all happy, and we are a big, happy family of the new National Party.
Indeed we are.
Have a good night.
And we have some lovely people come in and join the family.
Oh yeah. Only love.
All right, my dear. Thank you so very much.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, wonderful.
Bye.
Yeah, I wonder if you have anybody on the other side that could speak with such clarity in relation to the issues that surround healthcare and the healthcare system in Grenada at this point in time. You heard from Dr. Charles. You heard how clear she was, how concise, how she viewed the issues, and she was able to flesh out the various issues that are affecting healthcare in Grenada, and also offer some valuable advice. Now remember, she's a general practitioner. She could have pretty much gone, look for office space in town or in St. Andrew or wherever, and open her office and say, well, okay, I'm doing general practice, and just make money off of that. But instead, she's giving of her time and going to the Princess Alice Hospital and going to the General Hospital and having clinics in relation to sickle cell and trying to assist people. And folks, I don't know, many of you may know folks who have sickle cell, and what they go through is not an easy one. Believe me, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy if I had enemies. I don't consider anybody my enemy, but I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So for her to offer her time shows the care and concern of the individual, that they would take off their time and be able to go out and do these sort of things to assist people. The phone lines are open. The WhatsApp line is open, 440-7377-347-329-3101. Folks, remember, this Sunday, it is happening at the MacDonald College. But before that, on Thursday at the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School, there's going to be that zonal meeting, the final zonal meeting. So listen, St. Andrew people, I only want to see St. Andrew Southeast Day. I feel I want to see all of St. Andrew. St. David, if you want to come up, and St. Patrick, if you want to come down, come down. St. John and St. Mark, if you want to come across. And yeah, we're making it into a mini rally if we get a chance. Don't play with us, Next thing, we have to move from the school into the playing field. We just hope the place dry out in time, because we realize we're having some rain and them kind of thing. All right? So yeah, come on out, because that should be the final zonal meeting for this round of zonal meetings. We will be coming back with the zonal meetings. This is the final in that round of zonal meetings. And the other activities that are coming up. Yeah? Some people getting frightened, boy. They're hearing this thing there and they get, well, again, don't get frightened, man.
Write them kind of song, by then the topic might get still, or they may try to put me in jail.
So again, for those of you that are joining us late,
I'm really hot talk, no
we
attempt.
just had a very, very educational discussion with Senator the Honorable Dr. Mayana Charles.
Think about it, claiming NNP used to do the same. Now NDC in the tiffin game.
So if you were not there for that interview, you can go back and listen to it. Yeah.
I hope it is.
We've got a caller on the line. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night.
Hey, good night, sir.
You all right?
Yes, I.
I have a question, short question.
Go right ahead.
The human papilloma virus infection, is it a catching virus? Is it a dry virus? Is it a transmitting virus? What kind of virus it is?
From what I believe it is transmitted. It can be transmitted from male to female.
Okay.
And I think vice versa, I believe as well.
From human to human, okay.
Yeah. That is why Doc was saying that the males are the carriers.
Yeah.
Because males can pass it on to the females.
Yeah, that is what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Carrying.
Yes.
Who carries it? Yeah.
But I think the main thing to get from that there is the vaccination aspect of it.
Yeah.
The vaccine has been around for a while. and it is available. And if you have something that could prevent a young one from developing cancer later in life, I see no reason why you shouldn't utilize it.
Sure.
I know many people are anti-vaccine because, and this is something, my brother, people have to be very careful with who they allow to give them information. Huh? I remember during COVID, one of the main problems we had here in Grenada was, and worldwide, was misinformation. I saw videos with people, I am Dr. So-and-so. Now, we here in Grenada, we don't know the individual.
Sure.
But just because they just go in front of camera and they say they are a doctor mean that we should accept that. So these people were doing videos and saying all sorts of nonsense. I mean, I know a bit of chemistry and different things myself. And you could, I mean, a basic student of it from the secondary school level could tell you they were speaking nonsense. But they were saying it so convincingly that they fool a lot of people to believe things that they ought not believe.
Everybody believe in doctors.
Yeah, so we've got to be careful who we allow to give us information in relation to things, because people have their agendas. Some people just totally loony. I see crazy people doing videos all the time and putting out and thing. I remember one man used to tell people brush their teeth with toilet cleaner. All kind of madness. So you have all kind of weirdos and quacks out there. So you have to be careful of who you're taking information from. Yeah.
Yes. But you made a salient point a while ago. You said you have a doctor or two doctors on there once a week or once a month, maybe for an hour and a half, hour and a half. That's a good point, because we need doctors' information from time to time. Because we sometimes we don't have the money to go and get the advice from the doctors out there. So if you could bring them on, and they could give us the information of various diseases and stuff like that, we appreciate that.
And we can rotate, because, for instance, we have doctors, we have dentists, we have doctors who deal with ophthalmologists, we have general practitioners, we have internal specialists, all different people that we have access. And we actually have doctors who are at university. I've been in contact with them. They've messaged and so on. Doctors who are teaching at university, at different universities in the US, who actually listen to this program on a nightly basis as well. Yeah. And remember, we already have one doctor who we sort of did that with already. Yeah? That's Dr. Panchu.
Yeah.
So we have the mental and we have the physical.
Right. I'm looking forward to it, though.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very much. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Camille Teresa Scott. I hope you're having a restful night tonight. I know you wouldn't call, but I hope you're having a restful night tonight. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Yes, Sheldon, the voice in the wilderness.
Pastor Howard Dow.
By God's grace, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am quite fine, sir. I've remained quite dry during all of the trials and tribulations.
Right. And I realize that, a man who is strong in faith and nothing do really disturb Sheldon Scott.
Yes.
Sheldon, I'm very proud tonight to see Dr. Mayana Charles, and the way she gave a very good account of herself. And I believe that with the wealth of information this is out tonight from that doctor, I see a very, very, very bright future for the Ministry of Health for Carriacou, or Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Matic by extension. And I believe that she's very versed, in the way that she brings out herself. I believe that she have a very wide range of experience with the medical is concerned. And I do believe that the time will come when you will have to bring back Dr. Mayana Charles back, that because she has a wealth of information. And the thing that I really love about her is that she did her research. She's very versed in what she does. And as I said, that is a very bright future for the new National Party. And I just always ask myself the question, how Dr. Mitchell does really put his hand on people like that. And I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, having someone like that in the Ministry of Health, I'm telling you, we're good to go. Dr. Mayana Charles, congratulations, and continue the work. And for you, the people of St. Max, take a bow you has produced a wonderful daughter of the soil. Lots of daughters of the soil. Nice, Sheldon Scott.
All right. Thank you so very
Yes,
much.
yes.
And I don't know, it's just something with the ladies from St. Mark. You understand? You had Dr. Modest, you had Dr. Dubois, you have Dr. Mayana, you have, oh boy, what's her name? The former island scholar, Calypso Queen, all kind of things. It's just something with the ladies out of St. Mark. Yeah, man. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, brother Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm okay, man.
All right.
Okay.
You're going opening tomorrow, brother? I hear you the chairman. I'm telling you, first, I hear you that chairing the opening at the community center tomorrow.
Brother Sheldon, today I heard about it. I heard about it. And Brother Sheldon, that is very disrespectful. When you have a parliamentary rep, December coming, will be 40 years, he's the parliamentary rep for St. John Northwest. And you have the Happy Community Center opening, and no one, well, I didn't even know about it before. And even the parliamentary rep don't know about it. People that involved in politics.
They intend to bring the people from St. George Northeast, town of St. George. That is the areas they intended to bring people over to that activity to build up some numbers to then come and say, oh, Dr. Mitchell get weak in the constituency. Look, we have a pile of people. So they were mobilizing people in those areas.
And when they give them the they bring the people from outside. And Brother Sheldon, that is very disrespectful. And the two names that you call, and those people good. One of them, I think two of them teachers, one taught at the Hartfield Primary School, I think he retired now. Right? And I ask myself a question, how these people used to teach children, teach about children in school, about respect the seniors, respect to others, and they demonstrating this kind of disrespect to the person that served the longest politician that served in Grenada, that developed Grenada, Carriacou and Peter Matic, and you're treating the community so. But I always said, man would do as much as they want to, but they can't do forever. But one thing I know with NMP, we do wicked for wicked. When they treat us with hatred, we still love them, but we hate the things they do.
As I say, you hate the sin. You don't hate the sinner, you hate the sin.
Yeah,
you love the sinner, but you hate the sin.
I hate the sinner.
You hate the sin.
I love I hate the sin. I love the sinner, but I hate the things that the person do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I hate it because God said in His word, I love the sin, but I hate what they do. Right? And it's people that I know. Right? And I remember Brother Sheldon in Nagmati, I involved in Nagmati, Northwest and things. Some of them never get involved, but see them coming wrong now. Right? Like if Nagma only for a certain right? But when I go a particular government there, they come in, but when the government in, they out, they not partaking of. What I will say, involving Nagma is to save a life.
But yeah, what? Right? Tomorrow night, we go deal with them properly.
Yeah, we go deal
with them. All right, my brother. Thank you so very much.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, indeed. 440-7377. Yeah, we go deal with them further with that last. Let us go and play the opening that tomorrow. They will find out. We have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello.
Hey, Sheldon.
Hi, sir. How are you?
How you doing, my brother?
I am good. You go right ahead. You're live.
Sheldon, this lady from the doctor, you see the kind of people, and people already just a truck. That's a very nice lady. Sheldon, I wonder if the Prime Minister know what position he took as Prime Minister. Well, I know he don't know what position he took as Minister of Finance. Sheldon, you could show up in tongue at any time and just take us to, the Prime Minister will say that have nothing to do with him,
Well, the Prime Minister knows that there's adverse weather conditions possible for tonight, inclusive of landslides and, again, flooding. And the Prime Minister he still jump a plane and go. He still jump a plane and go. Like he never hear about a thing called Zoom. So he jump a plane and go.
Because Mr. Tillman and the Governor General, they said they're going to play job with him next year. So we have nobody to say nothing. Where the country is concerned, man. Everybody gone with the con, man. Anyway, peace, one love.
Yes, man. Blessings. 440-737-734-7329-3101. I know someone was trying to reach us on the overseas line. Call now. We've got a few minutes remaining. I'm going to take your calls right up to the end of the program. We've got a call online. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm all right for the time being.
All right, man. Go right ahead. You're live.
Let me first of all congratulate you on having that young lady to speak. I think I've gained a lot from her, and I think she's a wealth of knowledge for us. Hats off to her. I don't know her, although she's from St. Mark's, is it?
Yeah,
Bonnet.
St. Mark, yeah.
I wonder if she related to that Charles gentleman that used to be working with the spring cocoa.
Well, I've got no idea. So we'll find. Don't worry, man.
Charles.
I know we come into one of the activities. You will make sure that you meet her, present yourself as Clifford, and you will find out.
Ask her if she related to Roden Charles.
Okay.
But I think it's a very good gift for St. Mark's, and she seems to be very much on the ball. Hats off to her. I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you so very much, my brother.
Good.
All right. 440-737-734-7329. Yes, I know how close it is to ending time at taking the calls. Yeah, because I realize some people are trying to get through. Giving you the opportunity. 440-737-734-7329-3101. And we have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night.
Good night.
You know, NMP always get good things, you know, so we always in good hands.
All right.
And, you know, St. Mark's, St. John's, you know, we always have good people.
Yes.
All right.
All
so, but listen here, you know, man, and she seems to have like an old lady, it seems as though she attended to me in the hospital already.
Possible.
I do believe she attended to me in the hospital already.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you so very much, my brother. Yeah, and the name I was trying to Akima Paul Lambert. Yes, so you have people like Dr. Modest, you have Akima Paul Lambert, you have Dr. Dr. Dubois, you have Dr. Charles. Something happening with the ladies in St. Mark. Something happening with the ladies in St. Mark. Beauty and brains. Yeah, something happening. Capability and care and concern for people. That is a trend that you see when you're speaking about ladies from St. Mark. Hey, listen, I ain't talking down to the ladies from the other constituency, you know. I love each and every one of you. But something happening in St. Mark. Well, you see that? Something happening up there. Yes, indeed. 440-737-734-7329-3101. Although don't tell me I can't go down in South St. George, you know, people go stone me, you know. No, not because I say something happening in St. Mark, but sure. Yeah, something happening up there. 440-737-734-7329-3101. I can take a call, a quick one if the person calls like no, so I could take a quick call if they call no. Other than that, just some quick reminders. Yes, program as normal tomorrow night. On Thursday, remember Thursday we'll be broadcasting that final meeting, the final zonal meeting in this round. I'm making sure that you all understand it is in this round. It doesn't mean it's the final meeting and we won't be having, no, final meeting in this round. After the holidays, we'll be starting up again. But outside of that, so this Thursday at the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School, there's the final zonal meeting in this round for 2024. And we're looking forward to seeing you all there. So, St. Andrew Southeast. Yeah, so whether you're from Mamacan, whether you're from Crowshoe, whether you're from Mount Fan, whether you're from Marquis or Sobeys, or you're from Grenville, the town of Grenville, the side that is in St. Andrew Southeast, whether you are from Telescope, wherever you are, wherever you are, looking forward to seeing you on Thursday at that meeting from 6:30. Yes, 6:30, meeting starting then. Also, those of you in St. Andrew Northeast, those of you in St. Andrew Northwest, because we know right now, all you know what's going on in St. Andrew Northwest, because we hearing there's some kind of friction between the two. Yeah, we know that friction would have take place between the two Thomas Day. We know that friction would have happened and all kind of thing. Yes, we hear about it. So we know. So we know all you need rescuing. So come on out on Thursday. Yeah, show your support. Come on out Thursday to the meeting that's taking place in St. Andrew Southwest. We're looking forward to seeing you all out there as well. And St. David and St. Patrick, or you could come up the road and come down the road and join that meeting as well. Remember as well, Sunday coming, there's that youth activity taking place at the MacDonald College. They're calling them young people and they're telling them if they come out to the activity, they won't get this, they won't get that, they go lose job, they go lose training, all sort of thing. Don't let them intimidate the young people. Speak to your young people. Encourage them to not just come, but come and bring their friends too. Don't come on your own. Bring your friends with you when you're coming out to the activity. Show them that you ain't afraid them. And any one of you all that they fire, that they threaten to fire, that they tell don't come any activity, as I said, come to me. The lawyer's waiting. Come to me. The lawyers are waiting for them. Don't worry, you get money. Let tape them when they're saying it to all you. Any of them saying it to all you, take your mobile phone and tape them when they're telling all you these things. And bring the information. We go into court. They have no way they're winning. We go into court. Right, folks? So that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. In everything you say and do, do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. Once again, we'd like to thank very much Senator the Honorable Dr. Mayana Charles for joining us on Talking Points tonight. All of you that have called, all of you that have messaged, we just want to say a special thank you to each and every one of you. And folks, don't forget, we're also looking to help that gentleman in Carriacou who has that situation. He's trying to get an artificial leg so he could get his life together and so on. So he's trying to get that artificial leg. So any of you that can assist, contact me. I'll put you directly in contact with the gentleman and so on. Also the family in Simone, we're still trying to help. And you all see the kind of rain we're having. So you all could understand what that family is going through right now, because where they're staying, the water is still wetting them. So we're trying to see how we can start something, right? And get them out of that situation. We're dealing with human beings here. The other side don't realize that they're dealing with human beings. Contact me. I'll put you in contact with them. And then those of you that assist with the program as well, we always welcome for the assistance. And remember, we need the Pampers and so on for the folks. Right, folks? So that's all the time we have tonight. Do enjoy the rest of your night. My name is Sheldon Scott. I am out of here. Love each and every one of you.
Ideology, never walk in this fine country. If all you can make it no more, call a date up, pack up and go. We blood pressure soaring higher. All you want us go by la croix. Who go sing that in Parang? Or who go sing a shot me song? I go and call my partner Lakey. I hope he did. Carnival taking too long to come. Scholar don't sing them kind of song. And then the topic might get stale, or they may try to put me in jail. I don't need a master's degree to know his school children hungry. The program was managed real good. They used to have a lot of food. All you say everything is free. Take away the $1 fee. Now them children barely empty. Government can buy the groceries. Who go sing that in Parang? Or who go sing a shot me song? I'm going to call my partner Lakey. I hope he did. Carnival taking too long to come. Innocent would never sing that song. By then the topic might get stale, or they may try to put me in jail. Send all the children to buy for food. They won't have to cry. Diet is a critical thing. It fosters proper learning. But when children barely empty, next thing they just feel sleepy. You can trick the nation's children so, and never know NDC was bad so. Who go sing that in Parang?